Yeah. So timers are nothing but the to give the delay between request to request. Okay. So in the real time, if you hit something right, as a manually, I mean the human, you have to understand what is going on based on the toolkit. If you are very frequent user of the application, you know a few things, so you will go a little bit quicker than other thing. Or otherwise, if new people are coming, or like or the people like someone like 50 to 40 years, right, who doesn't have an idea on the internet, so they may having a slow interaction. So based on your audience limit, your speed will be there. But from the tools, right, it will be a very fast because tool will just execute whatever it is there. It won't for time, it won't for nothing. But in the real time, if you do load testing without any gaps, right, that is a giveaway errors because your applications are also designed to handle such handle the load based on the reality. And the reality will get assumed that 3 seconds gap. So server will have some time to free the memory or some time have to have the resources. So as we are doing load testing, we have to follow the same. Whatever in the real time we're getting 3 seconds gap, we'll put it 2 seconds gap. That's safe set. So we have to test in that way. That's where we are doing real testing. Okay. It's not like we'll hit everything in 1 second and say, okay, server is down. This is not a good thing. It should not be do like that. Okay. So for that, we'll go with the other things. Let's create a new one. Let me add again everything. Let me add a request one. Change its name so that we can get to know what is going on. What. Okay. So we'll use here request defaults. So to pass the data instead of giving everything in the over there. Upload. So let me add a listener tree to showcase, and here we'll add the table as well to understand better view of the time. Let me save this. Okay, and if you observe here, let's go to video table. Okay, if you observe here the times, right, if you see the start time, most of the thing after hitting the response it started. Okay, so let's open the calculator and calculate. So this started at 6.005, right? The request start time is nothing but that's where request got started. 6.055 plus, and what is the response time? 5.8 second, na? 5.877. See, 11.932. If you check the next request start time, it's 11.934. You see, based on this, what we understand? Any idea? Hello.
I was talking in mute. Yeah. So they executed sequentially actually, and the 5-second response time. After that, the second executed. Then after 0.6 seconds, the third executed. Then 0.6 second. Like the response time added corresponding request.
Correct, because this request will wait. Once the request got a complete response, it will start. So yeah. If you observe, there is no time gap, right? It's 0.001 second. So that's not a real time. So in the real time, this won't happen in this way. Correct. So that's why we need to add timers to make a realistic scenario. Okay. So if you remember the order we discussed, no, timers will execute before the sampler.
Yeah, that's correct. First, yeah.
Yeah, so that's, so let me add request 3, add a timer. First we'll add constant time. Actually add a 1000 means 1 second. No, sorry. Sorry, 1 second, right? Millisecond. Okay,
1000 millisecond, 1 second. Make it to 2000.
2000. Okay. Now let's see where the delay will be there. Now could you guess the where the delay between is 2 and 3 or 3 and 4?
The delay between 2 and 3.
2 and 3, because after 3 and timer will execute first.
First, yeah.
Right. That's why the delay will come. Okay, and let's calculate again. $45.513 plus 0.685. So the request should ideally start at 46.198, correct?
Yeah.
But it started at minus 48.203. See, 2 seconds gap.
Yeah.
The same way, wherever you require the important scenarios or the, like suppose that there's some page which takes a lot of data, or even some pages which can't talk with the DB in the backend. Wherever seems like there is data dependency or data verification on some other resources, right? At that time, we'll add this timer.
Okay.
On real time, mostly people will hang at time spent at the payment pages or reading the product description, right? They will time spent reading the reviews. So same way, we need to add the timers based on our application scenarios.
Okay.
Okay, but in real time, everyone we won't have the same constant time, right? Same delay. One guy having 5, one guy having 1, one guy has 6. There are a lot of times differences. Mostly it will be like a 5 to 10 seconds, right? Generally, average.
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone will be having lower than that, someone having higher than that. But if we run our application testing with this like load with 2 seconds constantly, right? Every time the request after request to request 2 seconds will be there and load will be same only. Before the timer and after the timer, the load will kind of same. All things will come in the same place. After all two, there after all three.
Yeah, so, correct.
Yeah. So to make more realistic, we will add a random timer. So Gaussian random timer. Add timer. Gaussian random time. Let me disable this. So this will help us to give a random time. So this works on based on the formula. The formula nothing but delay is equal to Gaussian factor into deviation plus delay. Okay, so this is a deviation and this is plus delay. So what is the Gaussian factor? Gaussian factor will vary from -1 to 1. Could be anything around -1, around 1. It's not like between them. Okay. Suppose if I give deviation is 2 seconds, okay, and delay is 3 seconds. What will happen? Let's take -1 as a minimum. -1 into 2000 plus 3.
So 1000 to 5000.
Yes, exactly. 1000 to 5000. Less 1 to 5 seconds. Correct. So we are expecting delay between around these values, around 1, around 5, and between 1 to 5. Okay, so let's give the same addition test there. So deviation is 2000. This is 3000. Then let's run it here. Okay, and let's calculate again. 43.482 plus 0.625. Okay, it should start at 44.107, but it didn't start at, so 46.381. See 2.2. Okay, let's run it again. We'll see whether it's creating the difference or not. 21.907 plus 0.673. Now it started at minus 21.907 minus 22.70. See, now difference is 0.01. So every time you will get different delay. So that in the real time, how it behaves, right? Same like we can't say that all the request 2 will go to all the request 3. Now someone will get request 2, someone request 3, someone request 4 because of these delays. Who has in higher delays, they go with the slow. Who is in a less delays, they go with the faster.
Okay.
Okay. So this is one of them. But there are some cases where you want to create delay based on your numbers, based on users, or based on a request, based on any conditions. There could be chances, right? It's not like that I will always give like this. So again, we don't have a timer to our custom requirement. So then what we'll do, we'll go the bean cell time. Whenever we have a requirement and any timer is not suiting that particular example, then we go to bean cell. Okay, so let's see. Let's again, I will write, assume that add config element 0 definable. Okay, so I'll write here users is some 2, some ramper is 1. Assume that example, and same thing will point out here. So we'll use dollar users, so it will come from that point, right? Ramper. Okay, yeah. So now let's use, because I will change the values here only. So based on these values, my whole script should control. Okay, so what we'll do, whenever you do dollar of user, dollar of ramp up, right? So it will update here. But again, your delay should be also based on this. If you are giving higher number of users, you want to be higher. Or if less number of users, less delay. So that's where now. So what is the point? So first, whatever you want to write in this script, right? You have to get the values here. So how we will get the values? We'll use var.get. Okay.
var.get, yeah.
Let me define a direct as int var not. Not sure whether we get error or not. Let's check. Okay. Okay, let me write users as well here. More understand. Int ramp equal to ramp. So I want to set the delay to delay some form calculation that I will write users into ramp up.
So here you are directly writing under double quotes, so it will pick up from there directly users.
Yes, yes.
But yesterday when you pull the data for the bin cell,
I did the same way, na?
You pull the ID double quotes. Yeah, you pulled it. Okay, we'll check it later.
No, let me check. Same way.
ID one. Okay, double quotes. Yeah. Okay. Okay, got it.
So I'm simply here writing some calculation, but in real time we'll do some logic. If users are there, some any calculation, okay, and this is a given number, right? 1 and 2. So we have to give it a milliseconds, no, in seconds, right? So I'll add 1000
into 1000, yeah.
Okay, let me print log.info
Delay.
calculated delay plus. Okay, now we got the delay, but we need to tell to JMeter, right, to give the certain time.
Yeah,
There should be
so
some function, no? So the function is return delay. So in the assertion we use as failure and failed message. The same way in the timer the function is written. So whenever you call return some value, right, that delay will be executed automatically.
Okay.
Okay, now let's see. First, let's check whether we have any errors in the code. Okay, so you got the error. We should get string only, because by default it returns string. Okay.
Then you need to convert that, na? int
string dot
parse,
integer dot parse.
yeah.
Okay, let's see. Again error. Static method not found.
Import something you need to add, import.
No, import not required. I think some spelling mistake. Where we have written that code?
Which one?
Okay, in the controllers. Oh, integer dot. No. Oh. Okay, we written wrong function. String to integers, right? Oh, capital P. I written small.
Capital P. Yeah. P small.
Okay. We're still. INTEGR.
Just copy paste from there, na? INT delay. Delay.
DGR dot PARSINT. Let's check the error again and set what it is saying.
That's why I hate JMeter. Come on, like And my suggestion to this Micro Focus guy, make it cheaper, load runner. Now everything will be wiped out from the market.
Mm.
JMeter, Neoload, everything will be doomed immediately.
I think some syntax mistake only. Int delay equal to shouldn't we use this in a single one? Integers parse into integers. Okay, that's right, like TA equal to, then we'll get to know where the mistake. Okay.
And string B equal to A cross B.
Added semicolon as well. Yay. Okay. Let's see. Alright.
Exception error.
Typed where discussion method invocation integer. No, it's failing a parse into on point.
What is there in the user defined variables? It is users, right? And ramp.
No, users only. Users ramp up.
Users ramp up. So in the ramp up, it's ramp up, na? Ramp. Yeah.
Oh. Wow,
See, I got the error bug.
Yes, super. Yeah. Wow. Yes. Okay. Now let's see the delay. So here we given two users, na? So how we'll check? We'll check the user wise. Correct, because each user has that flow.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to second user one. So where is the request paid and request 23 right now? Okay, 53.096 plus 0.756 minus 55.873. 2.20. Got it, right? So like this.
Request 1 minus request 2 you did, right?
Mm-hmm.
First, which request you deducted? Request number?
Request 2 I added, no? 53.0. This one. Where is that? 53.096 plus 0.756.
Correct, yeah.
53.852. Minus 55.873.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's calculate for the user one as well. User one 52.642
plus 652
plus 652
minus 55.313.
55 point. Okay, 2 point.
Yeah.
Okay. So like this, with the help of return function, you can create your own delay based on your calculation. Whatever you calculate, we'll do, and everything, and after that, we'll pass the delay. Okay. Here the key function is the return.
Okay.
Right now. But if you observe currently whatever till this point, right, we have learned with a simple load. We'll just give the number and we'll slowly go and it. And here there is no guarantee that even if you give one ramp up, even if they give 100, it's not like that all will hit at the same time. No, right? Because the request one may hit like that, but after that, based on the user performance, the request will go slowly.
Yeah.
But now your use case is like a IRCTC. You know, right? Indian IRCTC. We have tickets, which has in the Tatkal time, all the load will come at in the 2 minutes of span of time or 3 minutes of span of time. It means like a concurrency testing or kind of parallel testing. It means we have to test the application which we need to send all the requests in a single second. and we need to check how it is happening.
Okay.
Right. So how will you do this JMeter? The concept directly. I mean,
Yes.
with like
Synchronous timer.
Yes, we'll go to synchronous time.
Okay.
So synchronous timer will help us to get it. Add timer synchronous.
Someone asked me in the interview. I told that I don't know the exact timer name, but this load runner, it is rendezvous point. There's definitely should something be there. I didn't take that.
Nice answer.
Yeah, right. If you know the concept, like it's just like 1 minute to figure it out in Google, right? Concurrency request through how to send concurrency request in JMeter. It will directly give you use on this timer.
1 second, na? A second. Yep. Sorry, man. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
By default, we'll give 0 and 0. So let's see what will happen. Let's give 10 here. Okay. And we'll add a separate request to this particular listener, particular request, so that we'll get to know track. Okay, because the scope of this listener in this particular request only, so it will display all the things about request tree only. Now let me disable this and run by default, and we'll check how it is behaving. See, if you observe, all the requests are in different time. Right? It's like 509, 544, 3757, 8 kind of, right? Because it's not like guaranteed. So based on the previous user, previous request, this may change. Now, if I enable this one, if I enable this one and run it again, and we'll see the difference. So how this will work? This will work. If you see, this is all 786, 785, 787. See, millisecond difference. So how this working? This is works based on concept like the first thing is JMeter will hold all the users who completed request 1 request 2. Because if you want hit request for all at the same time, the previous request should be completed, right? For all the users. Out of 10, 9 users complete request 1 request and 1 user is left. So JMeter has to wait for the particular user to complete all these 2, then it will go to request. Then only they can achieve this thing. Otherwise, they can't hit this concurrency, no? So this will happen using these 2 conditions. Number of simulated users to group by and time. So number of simulated users in group by is 0 is nothing but it don't have to wait for a single one. It has to wait for all the users who have to complete. So if 10 out of 100, even the 200, 300, all should complete all the previous requests of corresponding requests, then it will do that. Let's say, isn't that out of 300, some 10 or 20 will be have some bug issues, I mean, kind of issues, performance issues. So at that time, I don't want to wait for all out of 300 for 20, 30 users. So that's why I give some number here where JMeter will check for this number of users. Now, suppose in this case, I will give 3. So it's for any 3 users. Whoever completed the request 1 request 2, right? That 3 will go to request. So you don't have to wait for all of them. So now let's check that pattern. Now if you check here by 3, 3, you will see subset. See 058, 473, 698. And see 1 user got left because 3, 3 set is there, no? And that will also complete.
But in load runner, basically we generally have to give a timeout also.
Timeout, yeah, the second option is, that's timeout.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that 1 user got struck. It should not happen ideally.
Maybe the 100% concurrency pattern should be less in that website where we are testing.
No, generally it should come immediately. Ideal case. Let me start again. No, generally what happens, right? 3, 3 is given, no? That 1 also will come whenever it's done. Not sure what's this. That's fine. Now, so even though out of 3 we have, if there is something wrong, right? That's where you give time. Whatever time you will give, it will wait for that particular time. If the requests are not coming, the previous request, right? Request 1, request 2, then it will leave the particular request and will come out whoever has completed this time. That's where you can achieve this concurrent testing for only single request of synchronized timer. Now assume that, yeah, what will happen if a synchronized timer keep in the thread group level? Or any timer keep in the thread group, what will happen? That will,
yeah, so this applicable to all the requests. Even also there is an interesting pattern I can say. Suppose in a transaction you are having 10 different requests, and what you did, like you put 5 seconds as a constant timer between 2 transactions, and you will think it will work like load runner, right? But in JMeter it exactly doesn't work in that way. So if you put 5 seconds, so there are suppose 10 requests are there, so it will execute, it will take around 50 seconds to execute the transaction. So if we have to put 5 seconds, then we have to make sure like that 5 seconds should be distributed by 10. Like we have to make sure like total it is going for 5 seconds. And that is my observation. Now you say me, correct or not?
Right. Yes, correct.
So if you will put a transaction controller 3 requests there, and transaction controller 1, and after that you put transaction controller 2. Between transaction controller 1 and 2, it will take in transaction controller 2, there are 3 requests is there, you put 5 seconds, then it will like take around 15 seconds for that particular one, because 5 seconds for request 1, request 2, request 3.
Correct, right. Yep, 5 into 3.
That is the biggest challenge. Like if you simply think JMeter will work like load runner, that there you will be dumped.
Right. Okay. So this is only for the request level. Correct? Even though we keep on that. But what happens if I want the whole scenario to be concrete?
Your voice is breaking a bit. Yeah.
So what if I want to have a concurrence on the whole scenario?
I didn't get it. I am not able to. It's not audible.
Just to change my position, just tilted like that.
I don't think.
Not sure. My microphone is very serious. Okay. Yep. Clear now? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, it's clear now. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So if I want to the same synchronization, same concurrency for all my scenarios.
No, it's not audible now.
Array.
Yeah, this array is audible. Yeah.
It's clear now again?
Yeah, bit clear, yeah.
Right. So what I'm saying is, if you want to achieve this concurrence for the whole scenario, because see here, if there is something wrong with delay or a higher delay and higher ramp up, you won't get concurrence. For single request, you get it. But if the whole concurrence, I mean, more sense of concurrency, whether for the time, whether for delay, then it should be using a concurrence group, not in the timers. That's the place where we'll go with the concurrence group.
Okay.
Okay, that type group will help you. That's why again we'll discuss in the training class.
No, your voice started breaking actually.
Sorry. Is it clear now?
Yeah, let me call you in the phone. Okay.
WhatsApp. Yeah, better.